My name is Patrick, and this is my 1961 Peterbilt hot rod. I have been at this project now for over 18 years. So they say that if you spend 10,000 hours practicing some sort of craft, you become a master at it. So I've learned how to master building something ridiculous. I think the one thing that's unique about this truck compared to other small Peterbilts in Kenworths that have been built out there is mine is more of a lowrider bomb at that. A bomb is a lowrider from the 50s and older that has all period correct aftermarket bling to it. So I wanted this to have all the bling that an early over-the-road truck would have. If you had more than one stack, you were a big strapper back in the day. And like there's green lights in the center. That was something that designated, the way you had them set up, designated that I'm from the I-5 corridor or whatever. The sleeper came from behind my buddy's shop. I was talking to him about the project and had mentioned the idea of a sleeper, and he said, I've got the perfect sleeper in the blackberries behind my shop. Come and get it. I was driving the pickup truck originally, and it was a 1984 GMC 3500 four-door crew cab dually. The engine is a 454 GMC. It has a gear drive in it and a nice little RV cam, and it also has the original Turbo 400 transmission in it. So it's actually an automatic. This truck, if you take the rear license plate off, there's a full receiver underneath there, and then there's a plate in the bed of the truck that you can take that plate off and you can put a fifth wheel or a gooseneck in there. Plus there's an air system on the truck. So technically speaking, I should be able to pull most any trailer out there that you can pull with a 1-ton pickup truck. 2 months ago, I had it at the Sacramento Autorama. And during setup of a show like that, and I believe that's the second biggest car show on the West Coast, they set up stanchions and ropes around your rig. So, it keeps people away from touching your car and stuff. But I took those all down and I said, I don't want those. I want my truck approachable. And I must have had 100 little kids and even big kids in and out of my truck all weekend long. I set a new record. I had a guy who was 6'8" that we folded him in half and put him inside the truck. So, but the people love to climb inside. And of course, they sit down and they go, oh, this is kind of neat. I say, no, sit in it, get in the truck, and then they go, oh, yeah, there's a nice line where all the windows and the mirrors all line up. So the visibility is actually pretty nice in here, even though it's got a severely chopped roof on it. I've put a lot of money and a lot of time and work into this truck, so it's definitely been a labor of love. I've had the vision for this truck since I was probably a teenager. Back in the early 80s, people have asked me what inspired this build. And back in the late 70s and early 80s, guys were big rigging their pickup trucks. So they'd bolt a bunch of horns and lights on it, and they would put stacks in the bed. And I'd look at it and say, well, that just looks like a pickup truck with a bunch of stuff bolted to it. And then I saw in a magazine where somebody had taken a Peterbilt Model 359 and had turned it into a pickup truck. So they had the cab and stuff, but then they put a bed on it, and it looked all right. It was kind of cool, but everything was just way out of proportion. And it just made me think, well, let's take that original idea of those pickup trucks and the semi-truck combination and put some work into it and do it proportional and make it look correct. And that's what inspired the build of this truck.
Would you ever be willing to sell the truck one day?
Yeah, I guess I would if the money was right. It's been a lot of time and love that went into the build of this truck, and it's an absolute gas to drive around in it. It gets a lot of attention, but it might be time for it to go.